so funny. Okay, it's just spinning around here. Oops, your microphone has changed. Oh, hi, we're here live. We are now live. Hi, welcome. We are doing a special episode to talk about self care. I'm Denise Noyer-Erez, and I'm lovingly known as the Fertility Godmother, and I help women save time and pain on their path to pregnancy. And I'm here with my darling friend who, for over 18 years, and my wonderful colleague, Sarah Rector, who runs the Circle of Life um, therapy. And she does infertility groups and one on one infertility sessions. And she's just an amazing resource. And we were talking, we wanted to share about the importance of self care because we've both been seeing a lot more stress, especially when you're trying to get pregnant. So, Sarah was wonderful to come aboard and make some suggestions. Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Denise. So good to see you.
So
So
good to
good.
see you. Yeah. So, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we're going to talk about self-care, huh?
We're going to talk about self care. I know you're a big proponent of it, and this is a pretty broad topic. But um, I know as we were sharing, we're talking about. I was asking you, what's something like one thing you could recommend to people to talk about self care? Because a lot of women, in particular, feel like they're being selfish when they're to take care of themselves. So, yeah, can you elaborate on that, especially when they're trying to have a baby? So important.
Sure. So especially during this time, I'll tell you, it is a double whammy. What I found in my caseload, my passionate, I'm so passionate about helping women go that are going through infertility because my husband and I went through it ourselves. And so one of the things I like to say is you say selfish like it's a bad thing. And it's really important that you've heard the analogy when you're flying an airplane, you put your own oxygen mask on first, and then you help others. Because the thing of it is, if we're depleted as women, everybody drinks from our well. And so they're coming to us, we're natural caretakers, and everyone drinks from our well. But if our well becomes dry and cracked and there's no water, then we get dry and cracked and irritable, and everyone else is disappointed because we're not providing what they thought we should.
Right.
So this is why self-care is really important. And with women going through infertility during this COVID time, oh my God, we need COVID care, guys. And that's self-care because when you're going through infertility, things feel out of your control. And of course, when you're going through COVID and a pandemic, things feel out of control. So it's like multiply by 200. It just really intensifies the experience. So the cure for that, the remedy for that, is what you can control, and that is taking care of yourself.
Mhm.
And it seems sometimes women say, well, that's selfish, like you said, Denise. Um, but it's amazing if we're taking care of ourselves, then we're better able to decide who we're going to be there as far as our loved ones. And we're
Mhm.
happier and they're happier. So that's kind of a preamble.
Yeah, that's great. You become more resourceful for yourself.
Yeah, and just I think it's really important to get conscious about what works for you. But I wanted to share something about I just read. I don't know if any of you have heard about The Artist's Way. It was written by Julia Cameron. It was a bestseller many years ago. She's a screenwriter, and she talked about doing morning pages every morning, doing writing, 3 pages every morning, the morning pages. And she talked about an artist date, which is once a week having something that really fills up your well, really you really enjoy and inspires you creatively. And in the book, there's a little paragraph I'd like to share, if that's okay, Denise,
Oh, I love it.
about self care, and it really resonated with me when I read it. It says, self care is the oxygen of creativity. Self love is the healing rain and nurturing sun. Self care and self love begin with self acceptance, and that is grounded in self knowledge. When we do the morning pages, they teach us who we are, what we value, and what we need to feel that feel valued ourselves. So one of my
I
self-care
love that.
things
I love that.
that that really has helped me in the morning is to do the morning pages.
Mhm.
And it just gets me centered. I'm checking in with myself. Where am I at? What do I need? How am I feeling? Um, before everyone else gets in there, I need this, I want that. Oh, you got an appointment at 10. Yeah, 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 I'm having a crisis. It's my quiet time to check in with me. Um, so that's one of the things that I do that's really works for me.
Mhm.
And self-care can be really simple things. Another thing I do is when I sit down to write, if it's sunny outside, I go outside and sit in the sun. And I mean, it doesn't have to be 80 degrees. If I put on a sweater, 70 degrees, and I listen to the birds, and that's self-care. I'm
Yeah.
outside, I'm looking at the trees.
Right.
Um,
Taking a break and being
yeah,
in
and
nature.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then if it's colder, then I light a fire in the fireplace. I light
Oh,
my
that's
my
fun.
favorite candles, and I change. I love seasonal stuff, which, well, I won't get those on yet. But oh, you want to put yours on, Denise? I
Sure.
love seasonal stuff, and so oh my God, self love. You epitomize it. Yes, that's self care.
That's
Buy
right.
some funny, fun glasses and wear them and laugh.
Laughter
Um,
is really important, I would say. And
that's why I love you so much. Anyways, yeah,
I
tell me,
know, 'cause we
tell
have
me.
so much fun together. I think that's what's so one thing, and I've been saying, I don't know about you, people have been becoming so tense and so even more overworked, and it seems like it takes more effort to really pull yourself away so that you can do this self-care. And I think laughter is really important.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Have you
Those that
been
are able those
I'm
that are
sorry.
able to laugh at themselves never cease to be amused. That's one of my favorite quotes. And another one is, "Life is too important to be taken seriously."
Ah. Life is that sounds like an Ellen. Seriously, I'm kidding, her Sarah book.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm cracking myself up.
Oh, why not? That's self-love. Tickle yourself.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so funny. No, but getting back, that's something that's really, really important. Have you been seeing that too, that it takes more effort to really take care of yourself with some of your clients or even yourself? Yeah.
Well, I think that, I found with myself and my clients, we were kind of like deers in the headlights. Like, "What?" And at first it was like, "Oh, well, this is gonna be 2 weeks." Remember that, guys? Now that's something to laugh about. This'll be 2 weeks. Oh my God, it's a long 2 weeks, folks. But
Longest 2 weeks.
yeah, and I have to say, I feel like I'm just within the last couple, maybe in January, coming out of being kind of like a deer in the headlights, you know? So this is what we were all kind of like, oh my God. And then there was so much transitioning and things kept changing. The definition of stress has changed. Well, we've had quite a bit of it, haven't we?
We've had a lot.
And so, yeah, so it's just really, it's what I found, Denise, is it's back to basics. Back to
I love
basics.
that. I love that back to basics. Yeah.
And that's where, what are the things that fill up your well? What I tell my clients is, be conscious of the people, places, and things
Mm,
that fill you up and make you feel good, and the people, places, and things that are depleting. And the mathematical equation is increase the plus and decrease the minus. So that's where, your self-care list comes in handy. We have a list of things that people have written down, but you can do your own list,
right.
uh, and come up with things. Like, Denise, what do you do for emotional self-care? What are 3 things you do for emotional self-care?
I like to meditate, and in my meditation, I do a gratitude practice,
Nice.
and and I do like something like I set myself up for like what do I need to be my best person that day
Nice.
in my meditation. So that's really been helpful. And then I need to exercise.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, for me, I really need to exercise, and also the other thing that I need that I really need more now than ever is quiet time.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's what's going on for that's what I need to do. And I like to get my when I get overwhelmed, my when I can't turn my head off, like the other night I couldn't sleep because my head was just it woke me up, which thank God it doesn't happen often, but it's to get those thoughts out of my head and I put them on paper.
Yes.
I find them helpful. Like kind of like you said with the morning pages.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is such a good strategy for insomnia. If you can't sleep after 30 minutes, get up, go I go into another room if you have another room you can go to. And writing is just taking what's in your head and putting it on paper because it what seems so insurmountable at 3 in the morning, when you look at it at 8 in the morning, you're like, "Oh, okay, this is doable."
Yeah.
So, good for you. That's a great strategy.
Those are some things I do. Yeah. So, would you recommend for people now that are, really you said going back to basics. So, like what does that look like? And because I find that it's much more challenging to do even my basics that I know. It takes much more effort. So, yeah.
Well, I think one thing that's was really helpful for me before COVID was that I'm a therapist, so we schedule on the hour. And so what I did is I blocked my workout time. I blocked that time out every morning from 9 until 10:30. Well, it's like 9 to 11 if I showered, and then we were going to the gym, but I blocked it out. I put it in my calendar. I made it a priority because what I found I did before is when someone said they needed something from me or they wanted to do this or that, I'd say, "Oh, I'm available this time." My exercise went out the window.
Mm,
My writing time went out the window. So just making that commitment to yourself, like we make commitments to other people. We're important and we need to
mm,
take care of ourselves before we can be available to take care of and be present for other people.
yes.
So I think that was a real helpful turning point for me.
That's that's beautiful. That's so great to make sure you do self commitment. I notice a lot of people will do things for others, but they won't stay committed to themselves.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
that's
Yeah, that
important. And then what happens is we get resentful. Like I've had so many women clients, and I guess it resonates with me. They say, "Well, my husband's working out, and I never get to work out," and it's like, why not?
right.
Why not? Have him, do that, make that commitment, and move forward.
And schedule that. Schedule it in. If you put it on the calendar, it'll happen.
Yeah, totally,
It'll
totally.
be happen. I love that. Yeah, making it a priority. So it's so
Yeah.
important. To I love a few things you said. You said about okay. Hi, hi. Do you hear the construction?
No,
Do you hear that banging or no?
it sounded like a little scratching. So
Oh, okay, not too bad. Let's see if I can put
okay.
my headphones on. I love what you said. You said, making yourself a priority, which is really important, and going back to basics and finding out the things that are important that you need to fill yourself up.
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna put. Oh, I'm sorry, Denise. I'm
go ahead.
interrupting. Okay, I love the glasses, so I'm gonna put on the
Oh,
lucky St. Pat's glasses in honor of March and St. Patrick's Day. And one thing I'm gonna say is when I was in sales, one of the things they said is luck is when opportunity meets preparation. So that's exactly what we're talking about, is that you prepare to succeed in your self-care. If you're
mm,
not preparing, to be successful, then you're going to fail, is I think another little adage they had.
I love
So
that. I love that.
yeah, so you can be lucky in your self-care by planning it and preparing for it and putting it in your calendar. Make time for you.
That's perfect. I love it. So that would be if you're going to take one thing from today, make sure you put it in your calendar and take care of yourself because part of taking care of yourself is making sure your well doesn't go dry so that you can keep giving to others and being your best self. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sarah gave me this amazing checklist that has, was it 150
So
tips
yeah.
on self-care tips, self-care 150 self-care tips. So you can click on the link in the description and in the comment section below. We'll post that for you if you want to get some creative ideas and make a to help you get started with your thoughts. But in the meantime, also just kind of check in and find some simple ways that are really, doable for you and that you can start doing to nourish your soul, nourish your body so that you can keep moving forward. And it does take a little bit more effort right now because things are changing. And during change, things take a little bit more effort. But once you get through that, you'll find that it becomes easier.
True.
So I think that's it. Is there anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I think that's the nugget. That's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. How about that?
Oh, I love that.
Maybe stay tuned for hopping into spring. I don't know.
We're gonna hop into spring. Yes.
The spring is sprung.
Spring is sprung. You guys, we should do what's it called in the background, the episode like behind the camera scene. You guys would be dying. We should do.
Outtakes.
Oh my gosh. Uh, all right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining. Please write in the comments what's one thing that you're going to take away from this and start incorporating so that you can feel full and whole and feel good about yourself and carry on. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.